Hey there, this is the One Boom, and today we're going to do a really quick video about the spawns in Vanguard because they got completely reworked and I wanted to test them out, and I did. I've done 2 long play sessions on the new spawns, and what are my thoughts? What are my opinions? Well, it's mixed. It's incredibly mixed. Vanguard spawns were really random and erratic, and essentially now they're a lot more anchored and sticky. Not like broken Modern Warfare 2019 bad, where you just couldn't leave your spawns on maps like Petrograd or Piccadilly, and you just got stuck on the same road over and over again. Not that bad, but definitely something that's going to really impact solo players, but we'll get to that more in a second. First things first, Vanguard spawns needed a change, and spawns, it's a really complicated system. Getting the perfect spawn algorithm, I don't think any Call of Duty's absolutely done it. We've gotten close, I have some preferred, but for the most part, it's a very hard thing. Every respawn shooter I play has iffy spawns, and so, look, I'm just glad that they decided that that was gonna be a priority for them, and that we did get a meaningful change to the core gameplay loop. Actually, I would say the fundamental gameplay loop that's, of course, dictated by spawns. So in old Call of Duty games, you didn't ping pong across the map every time you died. If somebody pushed into your spawn and killed you, you likely got a spawn nearby or adjacent that would allow you to clear them out of your spawn, and so you fought for map control in a much more controllable and predictable way. This unfortunately does promote a sort of bullying style of gameplay where you're sort of encouraged to make a mental barrier outside the enemy spawn and then make a sort of W formation, which essentially is going, left and then down and then back up into the middle and then back down and then back up into the right. You just repeat that sort of pattern to make sure the enemy can't leave their spawn. Another way to think of it is a sort of crescent moon formation where you're just making sure you don't cross into their spawn as to not flip them, but just make sure that they're stuck there for as long as possible. Now, in an environment where nobody's really working together and everyone's just sort of shooting the shit and playing Call of Duty for fun in like TDM or Domination, this is fine, but against coordinated teams, if you yourself do not have a coordinated team, this is going to be a massive difficulty spike, and pub stompers are going to run rampant in objective game modes. I can already see it. And as much as I hated the random spawns of before, I did like that level of randomness allowing me to just not get pinned into my spawn because my teammates are incompetent. I hate that. If I'm playing with randoms that are worse than me, I'm going to immediately leave the moment I see somebody get like a ball turret gunner or a bombing run from pinning us in our spawn in Domination. I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna fight through that. Like, go ahead and call me bad, but I got so burnt out on that playstyle back in older Call of Duty games, I really hope it doesn't run entirely rampant here like I'm predicting it's going to. Like, trust me, I don't want random shitty spawns that trivialize gameplay and trivialize map control, but I really hate the sort of, oh, don't cross into their spawn, just kill them every time they try to run out, over and over and over again. It just starts to make games feel boring. And again, if you're on the receiving end of a really good team, you're not going to want to stay in the game, and I've already seen people rage quitting in Domination a lot tonight. And if you have a long play session with some buddies and you're doing it over and over again, I guess it's cool to get kills and streaks, but it's just kind of a boring way to play, especially if the other team isn't putting up much of a fight. And this is how old Call of Duty was. In fact, I remember back when I used to live stream alongside Exclusive Ace, him and I used to play Advanced Warfare Domination, and we had this really pesky issue of dominating the enemy team so hard, they would leave. You make a little, mental border around their spawn, you go back and forth, you get some score streaks, and there they went. They leave. They rage quit the game. Because if you're playing with randos you can't communicate with, that don't have mics, and you're not in a try-hard mood, you just end up avoiding Domination altogether because, well, I don't want to get pinned in my spawn potentially by a coordinated clan of people taking advantage of these new spawns. And I don't think you're wrong for thinking that way. The nice thing about the random spawns is while I never felt like I could control the match solo, I also never felt like I was going to get pinned in my spawn when I'm playing solo. And maybe sometimes when I'm playing solo, I just kind of prefer random chaos to, well, I guess I'm not winning my gunfight when I leave this corridor for the 6th time, so I'm just dead. And again, I've already noticed a good amount of this, as well as some really awkward moments where I get killed and then spawn behind the people that killed me for a revenge spawn, which is kind of strange, especially on the round maps like Demyansk and Numa Numa. It genuinely just feels like a lot of these maps weren't designed for this sort of spawn system, and It shows. I spawn behind enemies sometimes, or I will spawn in the exact location where I died. And forgive me, I'm tired, it's 6:30 in the morning and I haven't slept yet, so I'm not gonna go through and find every piece of footage of this, so forgive me, I'm gonna be lazy and you're just gonna have to take my anecdotal evidence as a story. Either way, I've noticed these inconsistencies, and worse yet, Hardpoint and Patrol seem to play exactly the same. If there were any changes to Hardpoint, I can't tell that they're there, so Hardpoint is still sort of a no-go for me because I just don't enjoy the way it plays in Vanguard. I think the spawns are just far too random. They felt really good in Modern Warfare for me, but not at all here. And again, Domination and TDM are way more controllable now. It's way more manageable, but again, that's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I would love to tell people to just get good and then just handle it and work on not getting spawn trapped and work on how to spawn trap, but skill-based matchmaking is a thing, and if I start doing really well, I don't want to get put up against difficult, sweaty opponents with these sort of stickier spawns. I don't like random spawns, I prefer sticky, anchored, controllable spawns, but man, it's gonna make the game even sweatier. It's gonna be a game of who can pin who the longest all the time. It's so weird to get killed in your spawn and then respawn in your spawn to kill the person that just killed you or feed them another kill. It's an experience I haven't had in Call of Duty in a while, and I'm remembering now that I don't really miss it that much. It is better, I think, technically, but there are implications here that I'm really not that excited to approach. Even on the winning end of these spawn trappy matches in Black Ops 2, for instance, I just didn't enjoy it. Running back and forth, not pushing too far in because everyone would yell at you, it just kinda got old. I felt like it made the gameplay in a really boring manner, and while I do think spawns should be controllable, sticky, and properly anchored, I kinda liked the randomness. I think maybe I was just getting used to it, and maybe I'll get used to this again as well. It is definitely more old school, but old school sticky anchored spawns with new school skill-based matchmaking I feel like is gonna be a really big problem for me. I know, I'm complaining that the spawns are less random now, but I'm sorry. There are some skill-based matchmaking implications here that I think I'm gonna have to approach in another video and talk about it after I get more playtime with it. So maybe in the future, expect a big I'm done with Vanguard video, and maybe this will be one of the reasons listed in that video, because I could totally see that happening. Also, I don't know what's worse, getting pub stomped into your spawn until you wanna leave, or pub stomping so hard that the enemy team leaves, and then you have a really boring empty match. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'll see you when I see you, and later.